First at noon, a major milestone in the redevelopment of Aloha Stadium. The Stadium Authority has approved the lease and operating agreement for the project in Halawa, but officials say the new stadium will not be ready in time for the 2028 UH football season. With its vote today, the authority cleared the way for demolition of the 50-year-old steel structure and construction of a 22,500-seat replacement. Authority leaders say they finally decided that the goal of building it in time for the 2028 football season was unrealistic and didn't want to set up false expectations.
We set an aggressive schedule for us to achieve. We tried to work through that, but in our conversations with Aloha Halawa district partners and their contractors, Hawaiian Dredging, and looking at their schedule, the current environment of tariffs and material supply chains, and just looking at their whole sequencing of construction, we came to the date of March 2029 as being something that we all felt was realistic.
A demolition permit could be issued later this month. The new stadium's cost is estimated at $475 million, with taxpayers putting in $350 million and the development group fronting the rest with its own financing. The group, led by local developer Stanford Carr, will also be developing restaurants and retail tied to the stadium and a commercial and residential district on the remaining 78 acres. Honolulu police are looking for an arsonist after a brush fire sparked in Kunia last night. It happened at around 9:30 at Kunialoa Ridge farmland. A witness reported seeing a man standing near the brush before setting it on fire. They say he fled in a dark-colored four-door sedan. Firefighters responded and no injuries or damage were reported from the blaze. The suspect is described as 5'9" with a stocky build. If you have any tips, please call Crime Stoppers. In Leeward, Oahu, concerns of gun violence and agricultural crimes are being voiced by the community. Senator Samantha DeCourt hosted her first ever Waianae Town Hall at the Arc of Safety Community Center. She said more law enforcement is needed. That's despite HPD saying it added 12 permanent officers to District 8 last month from Ewa to Makaha. Meanwhile, loved ones of rancher Cranston Duke Pia, who was shot and killed last year by a trespassing hunter, pleaded for property owners to take advantage of new state-provided resources to prevent agricultural crimes.
We're trying to convey the message to everyone around this island and the neighbor islands. This is the first line of defense, is no trespassing signs. You don't have this up, it's like having a free ticket to come on your property. This is a agriculture crime prevention method, and it's written in Duke's Law.
We know it's not easy, but the part is, if you don't correct anything or say anything, the future generation you're going to leave your ag land to, they're going to face the same consequences. So enough is enough. We need to see, you see something, say something. You can turn around, text, email, hotline.
That number to report ag crimes anonymously is on your screen. Meanwhile, $1.7 million worth of upgrades at the Waianae Police Station are set to be complete by the fall of next year. The station is still operational in the meantime. Maui police are searching for a man accused of breaking into a home and sexually assaulting a woman in her sleep. The victim spoke to our Chelsea Davis to urge others to be careful.
The woman I spoke with lives in Haiku, but she says it could happen to anyone in any neighborhood. And she wants her story told to raise awareness so it can hopefully lead to an arrest so the suspect doesn't do it again.
I don't feel safe.
A couple of weeks ago, Mireles Oliveri was sound asleep with her 8-year-old son around 1 a.m. at their home off Haiku Road. But she suddenly woke up to discover they were not alone.
I was laying down facing up and I started feeling like someone touching me, and I opened my eyes and there is this big black figure next to my bed standing, and of course I freaked out, and my first reaction was like, screaming.
Her scream sent the suspect running out the back door. Mireles rushed to turn the lights on and called 911. The suspect was gone before she could see his face. Maui police told us officers responded to a home in Haiku after receiving a report of an unknown male entering the home without permission. The suspect was described wearing a long-sleeve black shirt, black pants, and a black hat. Neither Mireles nor her son were physically hurt, but they are emotionally traumatized.
I don't feel safe at my house, even though now I have cameras and stuff. He seems to know what he's doing. He's all covered. So I feel now that I have to have something next to my bed to protect myself. I would like the community to be more aware of what's happening, and maybe we can try to help the police to find this guy.
MPD has since launched a residential burglary in the 1st degree and sexual assault in the 4th degree investigation. They say they understand the case may cause concern within the community, but want to assure the public they're taking the matter very seriously. They're asking residents to remain vigilant by keeping doors and windows secured. MPD also wants anyone with information about this case to contact the Criminal Investigation Division at 808-244-6468. Mireles hopes that by sharing her story, there will soon be an arrest. She also wants everyone to be aware so it doesn't happen again.
I would like for the police to, find this guy, because this guy can get more dangerous, and we're having children around. This is a very big concern for me. It's scary.
Reporting in Haiku, I am Chelsea Davis for Hawaii News Now.
The Hawaii State Auditor is turning up the heat on the Department of Education over poor record keeping and for its planning efforts to cool classrooms. Auditor Les Kondo says the DOE couldn't verify where it spent $100 million appropriated to cool 1,000 classrooms back in 2016. Kondo also says a school-directed AC program led to the purchase of expensive units that were ineffective and too expensive to maintain. In total, the auditor estimates DOE spent $105 million on air conditioning units, cooling only 838 classrooms. In a statement, School Superintendent Keith Hayashi called the issues identified serious. He said the initiative was launched with urgency and good intentions, but was undermined by flawed execution, inconsistent oversight, and ineffective systems at the time. A woman is safe after she got into trouble in waters at Spitting Caves last night. HFD tells us the woman in her 30s jumped in around sundown but was not able to get back to shore. A rescue team helped her swim out to a boat. Now, this is the second rescue at the popular Hawaii Kai swimming spot in 3 days. A man around the same age was rescued on Saturday after he was swept off the rocks in large surf. He held onto a tube from a bystander until HFD crews arrived.
You got to be careful out there, especially if you're not familiar with the waters. Let's take a look at our first alert weather forecast and what we're tracking out there. As we're going forward throughout the rest of today, we're going to be in the green, seeing fair weather outside. Outside, it's around 86 degrees. You're taking a look at our live tower cam. You're going to see very nice weather going forward into the overnight. Temperatures tomorrow waking up because of the humidity around 78 to potentially 77 degrees. Of course, the trade winds are making a slight return out there. A little bit breezy out there right now. The breezy trades, moderate to breezy trades, are going to hold on today. They're going to get weaker on Thursday and Friday, and they're going to get much stronger as we go into Saturday and Sunday. I'll give you a breakdown of this and our first alert windcast coming up.
Thank you, Drew. New at noon, traveling families now have their own security lane at Honolulu's airport. It's all part of TSA's Families on the Fly initiative, which recognizes the unique challenges and stress parents and children may face while traveling. The new dedicated lane can be found at Checkpoint 4, and the benefits include shorter wait times and help from TSA officers with items like carry-on bags and strollers. Officials say this will also help clear congestion in other security lanes.
With our Hawaiian Islands being a top tourist destination for vacationing families, I'm thrilled that we now have the added ability to expedite the screening process and make the airport experience more enjoyable for both our local ohanas and for visitors alike.
We are honored that TSA has chosen this airport, the Daniel K. Inouye International Airport, to be among the first airports across the United States to have a dedicated family lane.
As part of the initiative, TSA is also offering families a $15 discount on the TSA pre-check enrollment fee. Officials say they are already looking at expanding the program to Terminal 1. President Trump said today there will be severe consequences if Russian President Vladimir Putin does not agree to stop the war in Ukraine following the leaders' face-to-face meeting on Friday. Erica Brown has more from Washington.
After taking over as chairman of the Kennedy Center earlier this year, President Trump himself announced this year's honorees.
The 48th Kennedy Center honorees are outstanding people, outstanding group, incredible.
The president named country music star George Strait, Rocky actor Sylvester Stallone, singer Gloria Gaynor, the rock band Kiss, and actor-singer Michael Crawford. The president, who will host the award show that airs on CBS in December, said he was very involved in the selection of this year's artists.
I turned down plenty. They were too woke. I had a couple of wokesters.
Earlier in the day, President Trump held a call with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and European leaders ahead of Friday's high-stakes meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin to discuss ending the war in Ukraine.
It's going to be a very important meeting, but it's setting the table for the second meeting. I think the second meeting, if the second meeting takes place.
The president said if his meeting with Putin goes well in Alaska, he'll quickly set up a meeting with both Zelensky and Putin. Zelensky said he told President Trump that Putin is bluffing.
Every time President Trump has said, I'm getting tired, I feel like I'm being played by Putin, Putin has done something to extend the time, to give him more space, to go on the offense in Ukraine.
President Trump warned Wednesday that there will be severe consequences if Russia doesn't agree to stop the war after Friday's meeting, but did not elaborate. Erica Brown, CBS News, Washington.
Ahead on This Is Now, a warning about jury duty scams that are costing Americans millions of dollars. What the Hawaii State Judiciary wants you to know. Plus, a major campaign that helps families across the islands kicks off in downtown Honolulu. Casey Lund has the details in 2 minutes. The Hawaii State Judiciary is warning the public to be on alert for jury duty scams as 330,000 jury questionnaires are arriving in mailboxes statewide this week for potential jury service next year. Officials say it's an old scam that continues to claim victims across the nation. Megan Schiller has more.
Melissa Stalter works from home, and the phone's always ringing, so when a strange number popped up, she didn't think twice.
And a gentleman was on the phone, and he said, "This is Sergeant Darren, and you were supposed to report to jury duty this morning at federal court, and you didn't, so there is now a benchmark out for your arrest."
Stalter said the man claimed he worked with law enforcement and the courts.
He had my address, he had my full name. He said that I am an upstanding citizen without any other prior convictions or issues with the law, which is true.
He told her she'd soon receive a phone call to pay a fine, and sure enough, a spoofed call with the name of her local county on the caller ID came in.
And I asked the gentleman his name, and I asked him to spell it. And then he got very irate and nasty and called me names. And I said, you know, if you're going to behave this way when I'm just asking a couple questions, I don't think this is right.
She's right. Later, her husband called the district attorney's office, and they found no record of her missing jury duty or owing any fines. And the local sheriff's office recently issued public service announcements about the rise in this type of scam. Stalter says it felt so convincing, and she fears for others.
When my husband and I talked about it afterwards, I was like, if they would have called my mom, I think she would have paid it.
Scam artists are not only calling, many people are now getting text messages, often from spoof numbers that look legitimate. Megan Schiller, CBS News, Pittsburgh.
In downtown Honolulu, hundreds are gathering to wave signs, cheer, and show their aloha for a cause that impacts thousands of families across the islands. Casey Lund has more on Aloha United Way's annual workplace giving campaign.
Aloha, an exciting day down here in downtown Honolulu. Hundreds of people lining the streets. Check it out. We've got our friends at First Hawaiian Bank. There's Central Pacific Bank, Bank of Hawaii. But I want to introduce you to some special friends. First, I've got Michelle, President and CEO of Aloha United Way. But we've got a new call center agent here for the 211 call line, Auntie Agnes.
Hi, Casey.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so good this morning. How about you?
I'm doing good. I want to talk a little bit about Aloha United Way and all the things you folk offer.
We help everyone from keiki to kupuna. It's really about uplifting the community because, you know, in Hawaii, aloha is the way, so Aloha United Way is the way.
We love that. Okay, now we know this is Passion Santos, internet personality, local comedian love. Why are you involved with Aloha United Way? This is really important cause because we know so many of our friends, our family, and Ohana who need the services that they have.
Yeah, I think that really it comes down to all of us coming together. It's a kako thing, community, uplifting community, and this is what this company is all about, and that's why I align so well with it.
Whether you're donating or working in the call center like Auntie Agnes.
Call me, Auntie, going to talk to you.
All right, I want to talk to Michelle Bartlett with us as well. Michelle Bartel, the CEO, President for Aloha United Way. This is such an exciting day. We have people from all walks of life, all of our different bank hubs here, Central Pacific, Bank of Hawaii, First Hawaiian Bank, and then all our nonprofits, a lot of them represented here today.
This is such an exciting time for our whole community to come together and really show our support, not only for the nonprofits, for the folks that they serve. You know, it's really been a challenging time with the federal funding uncertainty, right? So now is the time that we're hoping that everyone steps up, does what they can, give if you can, volunteer. You know, everyone coming together is really what makes Hawaii a special place, and we know that our community is stronger together.
We had Janine Sullivan, the executive director for the Pantry, one of the nonprofits that are served by Aloha United Way. She said that July to July, over this last year, 120% spike in the need for the people that she served.
Yes, and we're really alarmed by those statistics because we think that that is a sign of things to come. We are also seeing through our 211 statewide helpline an increase in unmet needs of about 46% just from the first half of this year compared to the first half of last year. We know it's coming. That's why we're depending on our community to come out and support us. So thank you.
Michelle, thank you so much. If you couldn't come down here today, auw.org is where you can go to support, and they can connect you with, of course, any services you may need by calling 211. We'll send things back into the studio from downtown Honolulu.
Thank you, Case. Well, a chance to contribute to a time capsule commemorating the Maui wildfires. A stainless steel container will be buried in November at the Maria Lanakila Catholic Church in Lahaina. It will be opened in 2043, the 20th anniversary of the disaster. The nonprofit Aloha Amplified is organizing the effort and asking for digital messages of hope and recovery. The group is creating a website where pictures, videos, and voice messages can be uploaded through the end of September, which will then be added to a USB drive and placed in the capsule. Look for more information on our website, hawaiinewsnow.com.
And stick around. Coming up after the break, we'll walk you through our full first alert forecast. It's been humid out there, and the humidity continues really until we get into this weekend. The details coming up.
Alert weather with Drew Davis.
All right, well, happy Wednesday, everybody. We're halfway through the week, and we've got a somewhat moderate to breezy trade winds out there. Still very humid, very warm. Lighter winds are expected on Thursday and Friday due to a weak upper-level disturbance. And, of course, humid weather continues really into this weekend. You can see just a look at our temperatures and the feels-like temperature. That's the heat index that you're seeing out there. The temperature is the number on the top of the orange number. So it's 86 right now in town, but it feels like 89, 86 in Lihue, but feels like 90. And you know what they say, that age-old saying, it's not the heat that gets you, it's the humidity. That's very true across the entire state right now. Our winds outside right now, relatively breezy out of the northeast again throughout the afternoon today. It will be a little bit breezy. We also have a small craft advisory up over the eastern half of the state in between Maui County and Hawaii Island. That's going to continue until 6 p.m. on Wednesday. We don't have that over the western half of the state. And you can see as we're going forward into Thursday and Friday, you'll notice this is tomorrow afternoon around 3 p.m. So a little bit weaker compared to what we were seeing out there today. And then a similar story on Friday, but the winds are expected to get even breezier, rebound throughout Saturday, Sunday, and breezy into the beginning of next week. Of course, as we're heading into a breezier weekend, our concern again is fire danger. The Keach Byram Drought Index continues to grow. This is the number today, 648. It's just indicating how dry the brush is. Critical fire danger threat over leeward areas right now, especially if we start to see those winds pick up. Our surf and shoreline forecast, north and west facing shores around 0 to 2 feet and 1 to 3. So small out there. We're also dropping on south and east facing shores. You can see in our swell forecast going forward, a little bit of easterly energy moving through the island chain. But as we're going into Friday Friday and Saturday, another south swell is going to be building in. This is around Saturday at 5 a.m. A lot of the energy's off to our east, but again, we might see a little bit of a boost on south-facing shores. Our island by island first alert futurecast, you can see as we're going forward, you'll notice not much rainfall out there. A few showers possible, some cloud cover possible early Thursday morning over the eastern half of the state. That continues throughout Thursday afternoon and early Friday morning. Of course, windward and Malco showers. That's really the pattern going forward into this weekend. And you can see that on our first alert radar and satellite. You see the overall trade wind flow pushing those clouds in towards the Malco areas. Not much rainfall across the state right now. Here's our 7-day forecast. Mahalo to Mike for sending that in. Again, Statehood Day coming up on Friday. Breezy conditions building in over the weekend.
Sheer madness in Chicago's West Loop this week. A sheep broke loose from a slaughterhouse, causing quite the commotion. Butchers were seen in TikTok videos going after the animal, which they corralled into a parking lot. And at one point, the sheep was cornered by animal control, and the fuzzy fugitive was put in the back of their van. Now, the happy ending, he is now in the woodlawn backyard of an animal nonprofit. So it worked out.
Yeah, and in a world searching for sustainable solutions, one designer is finding inspiration in something most of us throw out.
The vacuum cleaner bag. We're not kidding. 21-year-old Rahat Rai said he's not afraid to get his hands dirty to help the planet. He's on a mission to turn household dust into something surprising. Slippers. So he collects the fluff, flattens it, and heats it to kill the bacteria, then reinforces it with natural stitching and latex to make it stronger.
Very interesting.
Would you rock those?
I think I would. I think I would, Ashley.
Thanks for watching, everybody.